Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing this morning? It is now Monday, people. It is the first day of December. The year is 2025. Let's get up. Let's get started on our day. What are we doing today, people? What do we have in mind? What are we working on? Talk to me, people. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how excited you guys are to be up, be a part of life. It is another thrilling day. I want to thank you for being here this morning. As always, my name is Oloropo. This is BND Finance Fixers. Let's get started with determination, destiny, and discipline. We understand every day requires us to be a part of it. This is what living is. So let's go live the highest possible level, people. Thank you for being here this morning for this walk and talk. I'm coming to you from the East Coast of the United States. Please, as always, when you check in, let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are. Let's have some fun this morning, people. This morning's walk and talk. It's going to be a little bit about emotion, how we deal with it, how we control it. Please let me know if you cannot hear me. I have had issues in the past, but we want to talk today about being able to understand how everything that we do, as I always say, anywhere you want to go, you got to do what's necessary to get there. We have to understand that just because you don't like the truth doesn't mean that truth is any less true, people. It's important to know that in today's world, there are so many things going on, so many things happening around us. Much of it is a distraction. But for what is true, it is true. Again, thank you for being on this walk. As you check in, let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are. What are you doing up this morning? Are we getting ready to go? Are we excited about our future, the things we're looking to accomplish? It's a brisk morning here. I went out for a run yesterday. As it started to have a little, as what they call wintry mix. I was not out long, but it's a mental challenge. It's about changing your perception of what you're capable of. Mental challenges, physical challenges are not for others. It's not about what you show others. It's about what you show yourself, what you teach yourself about what you're capable of, what you're committed to, what you're willing to do, and your investment in yourself. So once again, thank you for being here this morning. Whew. As always, guys, check in. Let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are. It's the beginning of the day, end of your day, start of your day. And as always, here is the view from the top of my little hill up here in my neighborhood. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is a lesson I had to learn young. It's a lesson about hating the truth, being angry about the truth, crying about it, arguing about it, resisting it, does not change the fact that it is the truth and that you are having to deal with it. Dude, I stay in your backyard. More than that, I'm in your mind. Good morning. Thank you for being up. Thank you for being here. So, my parents split up before I was conscious, before I was aware of what was going on, how the world worked. They were already split, they were already apart from one another, living different lives. My first memories are, some of my earliest memories are my dad dropping me off at my mother's house when she had got remarried on the porch with like garbage bags. One of my earliest memories, I think somebody told me about it, or this was burned into my mind because I remember the outfit I was wearing. My mother used to take me to her office where she worked, which was a thing back in the day. And I found something and put it in the electrical socket. And that thing shocked me. And they had to come kick me off the wall. I'm sitting over there shaking. I don't know if it's because somebody told me about that so many times that I actually remember it. But that's one of the things that happened. So the thing about it is, I remember growing up and for much of my life wanting my parents to be together. Like in my youth, like this movie, the Parent Trap, where the kids are twins and they get split up and they meet at a camp and it's about getting their parents back together. Like that was a large part of my childhood. And I remember not taking action to making it happen, but how much I was angry it wasn't that way. And I went back and forth between my parents and my grandparents, and ultimately at some point in my youth just realizing I was homeless. I actually didn't realize I was homeless until one of the girls I was dating, her older sister said, "He's homeless." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And then I thought about it. I was like, damn, I'm homeless. So, it was a shock to me to be homeless. But what I found out is that during that time, I came to a realization that I wanted my parents to be together so bad when I was young, that emotionally, right, I was stunted, that I had experienced, or at that point, I was experiencing a refusal to accept the truth, not actively doing anything about it, about the fact that it was the truth, not even going as far as to take action to change the truth, because it wasn't my truth, it was my parents'. But what I had to figure out, and what was interesting, is that hating it didn't make it any less true, right? Hating that situation, hating the way it felt, lamenting, complaining, didn't make it any less true. This is important because I was sharing the other day, there's a transition that we make in life when we go from being individuals, we go from being children into being adults, and the strength of a child comes in building shelter and protecting themselves in ways where others who were assigned to perform that task may not have been able to do so for a multitude of reasons. Sometimes children just think they know everything, so they're hard to protect. So they run out there and they get that, they run out there and they get that test on their own, and they got to live with it. And then sometimes it's the inability of the person in charge to provide that support as the child may need or want. But keep in mind that strength to survive childhood, to survive whatever may come your way, has to at some point go from being a wall to being an offensive, going from being defensive to offensive. And it's the same thing that we need to realize, or it's the main thing that we need to realize as adults, is that as we start to make that transition, we got to start accepting some truth. Because one of the things that'll stunt our growth, right? One of the biggest things to hold us back is not accepting the truth of a situation and looking to make everything someone else's fault, somebody else's responsibility, the blame game, well, you don't know what I've been through, you don't know how hard it is. I may not, but you are where you are right now. And where you are right now requires you right now. So what are we prepared to do? And that's going to be important with everything that goes on in our lives to be able to move forward. Y'all talking about shadows, dude. Don't out here in this dark. It's my shadow. Look. How am I now? I'm great now. Married, wife. We have 7 children. We are building a legacy, understanding, just knowing the impact of being engaged in your life and living makes significant change to everything that goes on in your life. It's not, I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made is I thought early on I could fix everything in my life by making more money. I really did. And so I spent a lot of years trying to make money, right? Trying to figure out ways to make money. How do I make money? How do I make more money? I need to make more money. I made a lot of money. And then I figured out the problem wasn't how much money I was making. The problem was I had no idea what the purpose of money was and what to do with it once I had it. Didn't know, right? Not only did I not know, but I didn't possess the discipline to do it when I did know. When I became aware of what needed to happen, I didn't know what to do. This is important, people, because we're all waiting for this windfall. Yo, man, Man, if that armored truck turned over in front of me, I'm taking all that. Grab as much as I can. Man, if I hit the lottery, and we're waiting for this windfall to change our lives, to save our lives, to make everything perfect, to fix everything, to make everything right with the world, because so many of us believe that I just need to make more money. You don't understand. If I made $100,000 a year, well, right now you don't. How much you make? What are we doing with it? That had to become the reality for me. You don't have to, like, hating the truth of your situation isn't going to change it. So then I had to understand that the work that needed to be done was on me, not on my bank account. Because when I worked on me, I made changes to my bank account. It made changes to where my money went. It made changes to how my legacy grew, how my life grew, how my future changed, how my outcomes became different. Not as an assault to anyone or insult to anyone, but until we accept that, then we're just out here, right? Good morning, how's everyone? Hey, how you doing? It's great to have families together. It's great to be able to work together. It's exciting as it's exciting for me as a human being to see my little children grow, right? It's exciting for me as a person to come to the realization of my own responsibility and space in my life, right? Good morning to you. How are you doing? So the thing that started to happen to me as I started to understand more that I needed to work on myself versus work on my finances was that you don't get to be where you want to be in life. You don't get to grow and achieve the things you want to achieve in life by trying to change others. You don't get there by trying to, and I still have these occasional challenges myself. You don't get there by trying to make other people lose, right? Like growth and development and achievement for individual and for you is based on what you invest in you, right? What you build in your life, not what you tear down in others. You can look back so many times in history where when the focus was about building self versus destroying others, great things happened, right? If we look at the most difficult times, the most tenuous and treacherous times, it's when the focus is about destroying others versus building oneself, right? Versus focused on building one's future. It's a lot easier to build and grow and achieve through planting your own crops than poisoning your neighbors. Now I'm about to hit my Southern Baptist preacher on y'all this morning. Y'all ain't hear me. Y'all should, like y'all act like I ain't just say something. It is a lot easier and a lot more beneficial and of greater value to plant your own crops than to try to poison your neighbors. hating what other people are achieving, hating the place and the happiness and the achievements of others is not going to grow where you are. It is going to ultimately tear down yourself because you're so focused on looking what other people have that you have no focus to put into what you have. You have no focus to put into what you want, where you are and where you have the possibility of growing, of going. So you so busy running around trying to pour water on other people's fire. I ain't been doing this YouTube thing long. I've been doing it long, but I've come to a realization, I've come to an understanding that there are people who would like to destroy others. It's even in our voices, it's in what we do. I had to change my approach because I found myself in that same space. It's almost like human nature, right? There's nothing to talk about. It's always something to talk about. It's almost like a part of human nature to go out and hate, right? It's almost like what people seek out is conflict and a fight. I want to fight. Got YouTube channels where people literally put up, I think this. I hate such and such. I think this person is this. Prove me wrong. So that they can come in and argue. So they can come in and look how right I am. Look how I said the right thing. Good morning, welcome in. And all of that is built off of hating something else and trying to tear down what someone else is doing versus trying to build up what you do. There's a lack of confidence in one's own ability to believe that this is what I have to bow down to or what I have to stoop to in order to see growth. I see all of my comments. I ignore many of them. Thank you for joining this morning. So far, all you've missed is me sharing that hating the truth, this in the title, is going to change it. It's not going to make it any less true. So since hating the truth isn't going to change the truth, we need to actually understand it and then live within that truth, and it makes us powerful. It gives us the ability to take action because understanding the truth gives us knowledge. It gives us freedom. It gives us control. Hating the truth simply means that we refuse to accept what it is, and then we spend our time stuck trying to make it not true. You can't make the truth not true. You can't make the truth not true. And so when I walk and I tell you that so much of life, so much of what we see is built on conflict and poisoning other people's or drinking water versus building our own. Because once you start to build, once you truly start building, if your focus is on growing you, you come to a realization that your success is tied to the growth and the success of those next to you. Truth is truth. Your best opportunities at being successful is to let those around you and those next to you know that you're invested in their success as well. And then as they grow, you grow also. This is how pyramid schemes worked for so long. The pyramid scheme was, you give me $20, right? And then I'm going to let you buy into this company for $20. And then you go out and sell stock in my company. And for everybody who pays $20 for a share of stock, I'm going to give you 10. You can even discount the stock to whatever price you want. All you have to do is bring me $10 for each share of stock. You can sell your stocks for $12, $15, $50. You can sell them for $30. All I need you to do is make sure you bring me back $10 for each share of stock you sell. And then every time they sell a stock, you bring me back $5. They sell their stock for whatever they want to. That's how pyramid schemes work. I grow, you grow. Problem with that is there's nothing in it. There's no substance. There's no, y'all gonna hate me for this. Don't y'all hate me for this. Truth of the matter, my mom got caught up in it when she was younger. I remember her sitting us down and we had a family event and telling us about it. It's like a $10 buy-in. I was like, okay. What was one of them early one companies? Amway, something like that. They had a whole bunch of clear bottles that you would fill up with water and some type of spray solution. And then you would be a part of the Amway branch and you would just sell people on selling Amway. You would just keep selling. I think you sold like Amway licenses or something. Pyramid scheme. So I think they call it multi-level marketing, right? You can't focus on trying to tear that thing down. You have to focus on trying to build yourself. When you understand that you matter and you start building you and you start traveling this path and you can share with people, your household, your family, your loved ones, that, hey, I got to focus and we're growing as a family. We're taking strides and steps as a family. Then we're going to start to see differences in our future. We're going to start to see change. We're going to start to see growth. So what does that mean for the individual? When you're a part of that process, you have to understand and believe that truth. And a lot of us do it already. We do it already. So we got a question. Question is, what truth? What's your question? What's your reality? What's that thing? I'll be completely honest with you. For most people, it's a fear of something. And whatever that fear is that keeps you from achieving at the level you would like to achieve at, good morning. Whatever that fear is that keeps you from achieving at whatever level you want to achieve at is that thing. It is that truth that you're not prepared to accept. It is that truth. Right? That's the thing that we're talking about. That's the thing. How does that work? It works quite simply. You're in the middle of trying to do something in your life, and it gets challenging. And the moment it gets challenging, good morning, welcome in this morning, thank you for the gift. You're in the middle of trying to achieve something challenging, and then things pop up. I'm gonna give you an example. I was working for this company, right? And I have a tendency, I don't put a lot of detail about the companies that I work for in here. So I'm working for this company, and at the time I'm working for this company, good morning. At the time I'm working for this company, I was going through a development to become a leader in the company. And I had a challenge with being able to communicate effectively. You need to communicate effectively. We feel like you need to communicate effectively. Here's the problem. I like to communicate about actual things, right? And the company that I was working for at the time wanted to communicate about other people. They wanted to communicate about who did what, when, where, and how that looked for who made that bad. And I had difficulty with the leadership in the company because I didn't understand at that point that communicating effectively was about communicating with the people, communicating with the team members, communicating with the leaders about the objectives and the goals so that we make sure that we're aligned and we're working on the same thing. And I'm telling them, I'm not the problem with the communication. The problem is what y'all are talking about. And I remember just knowing, I was young, I just knew I was right. Everybody in here is a gossip. They were like, well, you need to communicate more effectively. I don't want to be a part of this office gossip and politics and playing games. I'm like, that's not my thing. They were like, okay, you need to communicate more effectively. Y'all want me to be a part of this nonsense? And I had to accept the reality that I was a part of the nonsense because I would hear it and I would say, I don't like it. And then go tell somebody else that I heard somebody say something about somebody else and how much I don't like when people go around and talk about people who aren't there about what they do when they're not there. Guess what? I'm doing it. You need to communicate more effectively. And I'm in this training program and I'm supposed to be becoming a leader. And I had to accept the hard truth that as becoming a leader, it's my job to lead that. How do I change that? Communicate more effectively. Send out emails. Establish trust. Speak with team members. Hey, we're here. Look, we're in the middle of something. Here's something that I'm not in favor of. We can have challenges. We can disagree with people. We can feel how we want to feel. Your feelings are your feelings. Bottom line is we're here to complete an objective. How you feel about this person doesn't change how the approach is. It doesn't change what's happening. It doesn't change the outcome that we need to achieve. Okay? So now let's communicate effectively. Let's send out emails. Hey people, I need to have an understanding of where we are, what we're working towards. What are your specific goals? Do you know the quarters company? Do you know the company's quarterly goals? Do you know what your role is in this space? Do you know what your expectation is in this space? Do you know what it is you're trying to achieve? What's your next steps? What's your growth? What are you working on? What areas can we support? The conversation changes. We're talking about your growth, your development, your change, your turn. And these focuses, by doing so, allow for this effective communication to turn into a better way of identifying the outcome and being able to move towards it. This is important, people. We're all out here living our lives. You're out here right now, up this morning, living your life, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in your world, you're living your life, but we still have to communicate effectively. We still have to start to understand that hating the truth isn't going to change it. That was on me. That was on me. So I can't hate the truth. So I had to take the truth. And in that situation, that was on me. So I had to make growth. It's not saying that the things that were going on were right. It was saying if the things that are going on are wrong and you want to be a leader, it's incumbent upon you to lead. It's important for you to be able to address the behaviors and the actions and to bring about change, to be the impetus of change and of growth. That's what's important. Thank you guys for being here this morning. Hating the truth, it's not gonna make you any less true. Knowing the truth, accepting the truth, living within the truth makes you powerful. This is how people lose money every day. This is how people fall victim to scams every day. This is how most truth that people do not want to accept are about them. When you're not accepting of the truth that is about you, which is the truth that's most important, because it's the one thing that is completely under your control. You want to accept the truth about you? You can't fix it. You can't change it. You can't impact it. You can't be a part of doing anything different. It's got to be when it's crazy because the world has a tendency to try to change everything. There are groups in the world that says, hey, this is how I see this. Everyone needs to see it this way. And if you don't see it this way, you're wrong. We've changed the world. This is the new right. You can't make me see the world the way you want to. That's not my truth. That's yours. I'm not knocking you for your truth. We have a belief that truth means right. That the truth shall set you free. It will. It'll set you free mentally of the things that are holding you back from taking action in your life. It happens at a lot of jobs. It happens in a lot of workspaces. We don't want to allow for the things that are happening around us to define us so much that we lose ourselves in those things. As I was sharing earlier, for me, I thought it was always about making more money. It was always about doing more to work on that job. No, it was about working on me. It was about understanding how I landed in the space. I'm a big splash guy. Boom, I'm kicking into I told this. This is how big splash I was as a kid. I don't know if anybody else ever did this. And this is probably gonna be, as a kid, I used to walk into anywhere that had double doors and push both doors open at one time, take a big step forward, and then let the doors close behind me, like I was entering like the Roman Colosseum or something. I kicked in the door like I was changing the world. I was like, dude, you just walked in the mall. Don't nobody care. It's 11,000 people in here. Anybody about your 14-year-old tail walking in the mall? Oh, big splash. I'm big splash. Man, you ain't a big splash in your own life. You the side story of your own life. You a role player in your own life. Your whole life was happening around me. and I was looking for a role to play. I was trying to find where I fit in my own life, which isn't surprising because I was young. I was a child. Then we start to grow up. Then we start to become more. We start to find destiny. We start to find growth. We start to find direction. We start to gain traction. And we start becoming aware of the truth. And the biggest truth is it's on you now, right? Oh, the moment that you realize, and I tell my children this all the time, you ain't got to do what I say. You don't. You can do whatever you want to. But you got some things you're getting right now in your life that you don't value because you think they just happen in your life. And you don't notice how valuable they are and how much they matter to you until they start going away. And you believe that this is your right to have these things. And as a child, we expect as adults and as parents to help them understand that, to nurture that development so they can grow. But as a child, you believe, I deserve everything. Give me everything. And then you don't notice your behaviors and your actions until you start losing things, until things start disappearing out of your life, until things stop being what you want them to be. It happens to the best of us. And that's what I'm trying to say is as adults, we're there in that same space, but we have the knowledge and the wherewithal to not make this our life. We have the ability to make decisions that don't doom us. I hate this. I can't stand this. I can't wait to move out of here. We all heard it. We probably even felt it. Go ahead. Hurry your ass up. Run on out the door. See where that gets you. Say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can provide that knowledge. You can teach. You can love, man. Love, and then love harder. You can't love the hate out of somebody. You gotta accept the truth. You can't love the hate out of somebody. Somebody hates you, I don't care how hard you love them. You can't love the hate out of somebody. You gotta learn to love you too. You gotta learn to love yourself. Stop hating yourself so much that you loving others more than you loving you. That's real circular, but it's for real. All of this leads to development, leads to growth. It doesn't matter, man. We can get on conversations about finances, and we do. We have conversations within the membership tier, specifically around finances and personal behaviors that help to grow finances and to develop. We have conversations about it. But it doesn't matter if you don't have discipline. It doesn't matter if you don't have these basic understandings about life and yourself and accepting reality. Man, these things aren't hard. These things aren't hard. There's a lot of things that we can do to discover and learn how to build and how to put money to work so your money works for you. Have plenty of lessons and classes and conversations specifically around investing into your future, investing into your growth, investing into yourself. None of them matter if you don't have the discipline to follow the investment through. You have to understand that the work that you put in to yourself, you can never get back. That has to be an investment principle of life. I'm gonna share a little bit something that I would share amongst the members. When you invest, you never take it back out. Nothing that you put in, ever do you take it back out. You just continue to invest. The best way to see it is to look at yourself as a business. You invest, you put food into your body to nourish your body, to sustain your body, to help your body grow. Your body processes it, it takes from it what it needs, it does the work that it needs to do, the rest of it is disposed as waste. Businesses work the same way. They make use of the resources, they get what they need, they do what they need, they invest it, the rest of it is thrown away. It's disposed of as waste. Some businesses have gotten so good, they can even sell their waste now. This is how businesses work. But we're not investing in our lives. We're consuming more than we need. I'll tell you something from my history as a personal trainer. If you take in more protein than your body can use, your body turns it into waste and it pisses it away because it can't use it. You're not doing enough work to need 120 grams of protein a day. One of the principles I learned as a personal trainer is that there is a belief that at the beginning, you should be meeting the same standards that you're meeting when you're at the end. Have a question. What if I am making a loss though? If you're making a loss, run your business right. File that loss to the tax. File that loss as part of your taxes. The country is designed to support companies that are looking to make a profit, and they help you with it. Sole proprietorships. LLCs, partnerships. Yes, cow waste, manure, sales. The principle to learn there is that we need to learn to invest. So as I was saying, as a personal trainer, one of the things, the principles that I came across is that people believe that at the beginning, the expectations and the design should be the same way it'll be at the end. And so they go on and they watch these people who have dedicated themselves to personal fitness for most of their lives. These people who get up in the morning and put 2 to 3 hours a day into preparing their life, who do meal prep so they don't have snacks, who've disciplined themselves to understand I eat at a certain time for a certain reason. I train my body to consume in a way that is necessary for me to continue to grow. I'm investing time, energy, thought, understanding, math. I have to figure out calories. I have to figure out how many I burn. I have to understand where to do the work. I need to do all of those things to continue to maintain and grow where I am. I need to do all of these things. You've been living on a diet of Twinkies and mayonnaise for the last 7 years, and now all of a sudden you want to start a workout plan, and you think you're going to just switch over to grilled chicken and rice. That's it. I'm going to stop eating sweets. Man, day 3, they find you in a sugar coma with Twizzlers hanging out your mouth. You done gone crazy. You're like, I had a client who I started working with, and I tried to explain to the client that the body works a certain way. The body doesn't know how to say, I need protein. Body doesn't know how to say I need fats. It doesn't know how to say I need carbs. The body just knows that it needs what it needs. And it's learned from your history. It's learned from what you've taught it, from your input. It's learned, I get fat from this. I get carbs from this. I get sugar from this. This is where I get these things from. This is where I get protein from. This item. So when you get a craving for that item, it's not because you have a craving for that item. It's because your blood knows I need iron. And iron is a part of this thing. This is why I'm telling you, you don't improve on something by trying to stop something. You improve on something by growing that thing. You invest into things to do, not to not do. So, this client of mine, starting the program, woman's overweight. She's really invested. She wants to start working out. And we're having a conversation. We've developed this good plan, and we're looking at things. I was a personal trainer, lived in Maryland. You have to be a registered dietitian in order to offer food plans. So couldn't build a food plan for her. Did let her know the difference between calories, the number of calories you burn a day based on versus the number of calories you take in is how you create a caloric deficit. The purpose and the way I do training is to help build lean muscle, because lean muscle requires more calories to survive. As you build lean muscle, even if you maintain your current caloric intake, you'll start to see a difference first in body composition and then on the scale. There'll be a trade-off, a whole conversation around it. Your key is to find and develop a caloric deficit. There are plenty of registered dietitians. A lot of them are covered by your insurance. There are meal plans. There are things you can find online. But you need to understand your caloric deficit that you need to reach. Here's how you reach it: by lifestyle changes, whole conversation. Went into so much detail. Told her what the workouts were going to be. Hadn't worked out in a while. Said she wanted to get in 5 days a week. I said, you're not going to do that. We're going to schedule 2. And then I'm going to advise you to add these things to your life. These things will help you burn calories, but they're going to require for you to do those things, to get up and go do those things. So, have this whole conversation, get to the end. She says, well, what about a cheat day? What? Well, don't I get a cheat day? You know, like athletes, the people who work out, they get a cheat day. You've been cheating your whole life. You got 36 years of cheating just hanging on you. And you want to cheat? No, you don't get no cheat day. You've used every cheat day you had. You don't have no more cheat days left. Like you cheating right now. Threatening to cancel her membership because the gym didn't offer pizza on Mondays like another branch. Here's the thing, I am not even hating on pizza. People don't understand pizza is one of the greatest contributors to fitness development that you can have, because it has everything you need in it. It has fats, it has proteins, it has carbohydrates. Problem is, people eat entire pizzas with chicken wings and 2 liters of Pepsi and chips, and they lack discipline. They lack discipline. That's what the problem is. So what are we doing? How are we working? How are we focusing? How are we growing? Can't hate to, listen, hating the truth is not going to stop the truth from being true. You've cheated enough. You don't need another cheat day. You don't need another opportunity to not meet the goal. We need to start doing the things that are necessary to reach our goal. It's the same thing with your finances. You don't need another frappe. I gotta have my frappe. No, you don't. Who told you that? Why? Why do you gotta have your frappe? I can't start my day without my soda. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You think you're so much better because you got a paycheck? My bills are paid. I'm fine. I'm just trying to figure out a way. I need to find me a side hustle. Your side hustle, the money that you want to make from your side hustle is in the things that you're spending your money on already. Listen to me, right? Because some of y'all right now are going to hate this truth and it ain't going to make it any less true. Y'all want to know how to side hustle. How do I invest in the stock market? Where do I start at? You start with where you're wasting your money right now. Oh, yo, I gotta have that. No, you don't. You ain't gotta have none of it. I sat down and I started doing calculations on what does it take for an individual to truly survive? What does it take? Like, how much does it take for an individual to truly survive? We got people living on the streets. I'm not telling you to go live on the streets, but I'm telling you, we have people living on the streets in this country, and they're surviving. Oh, they're living off handouts. People taking care of them. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Joe, your judgmental ass, slow down. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how much does it really take for you to survive? Last week, we went over the phone bill. How much you paying a month for your phone bill? Why? Oh, well, you know, I have this data that I need and I have to be able to, okay. Do you work for yourself or you work for a company? Because if you work for yourself and you have your own business, you're absolutely right. Your business, you have to invest at your business at the cost of doing business. Oh no, man, when I stream, I don't it takes so long for it to load. Stop streaming. Because what's your phone bill right now? Is your phone bill $65 a month? Or $15? That's $50 right there. That's $50. That's $600 a year right there. I just need to get me a side hustle. Your side hustle is in the money that you're spending on things already. How many energy drinks do you do a day? How many times a week do you eat out because you don't feel like washing dishes? How many times you pay somebody to wash your car? I ain't riding around in a dirty car. Ride around in a dirty bus. Like, listen, I don't care. Here's what I'm trying to say to you. And I'm not trying to say this to say that you have to change your lifestyle. I'm not trying to say this to be judgmental. I'm not being judgmental in any way. What I am saying is hating the truth ain't gonna make it any less true. If we're sitting here complaining about the money that we don't have to invest and constantly looking for a side hustle to find a way to make more money, and then we're throwing our money into the wind. Businesses don't throw money away. Businesses invest money. And then the waste they sell. So they make more money. Come on. See, we have to start to think about the things we're saying, but it starts with discipline. Can you start your day without a drink? It's just so hard. Okay, I get it. It's so hard. There's your investment. There's your $9 a day. Please, somebody, I don't have a calculator on me. I know $10 a day is $3,650 a year. I was on the phone with my mother. My mom and Ma, don't get mad at me about this story I'm about to tell. I'm on the phone with my mother. I said, Ma, we were talking. She was like, it's crazy. I'm paying this bill. Something was charging me $66 a month. I was like, Ma, let me get that $66 a month. I can make that grow for you. She was like, boy, I ain't giving you no $66 a month. I said, all right, Mom, just give me $3 a day. She said, I might be able to give you $3 a day, but I ain't giving you no $66 a month. I said, Mom, $3 a day is $90. $3 a day is $90. You just agreed to give me a third more than I asked for. Oh, that's crazy when it breaks down like that. Yep, it's a trick bag. And we're all falling into this trick bag. That's what subscriptions are. Hey, you don't have to give us $100 a month. You don't have to give us $100 a year. I tell you what, don't give me $100 a year. Instead, give me $8 a month. That's $96. So I'm only saving $4. Let's just saving $4. So let's right? That's where your money is going. That's where our money is flying. I'm telling you, hating the truth ain't gonna make it any less true. And for a lot of us, this thing that we're looking for, this come up that we're looking for, this money that we want to make, this side hustle that we're so desperate to start is sitting right in front of us. And we're throwing it out the window every day. Gotta have my fries. I gotta have the freshest kicks. I can't cancel my streaming service. I gotta have that. Do you? I sat down and I did the math. Roughly take home income, middle class on average in the United States, somewhere around $40,000 a year, something like that. Low level, bare minimum living, somewhere around $1,200 a month. Good morning, how are you doing? Thank you for checking in. I'm gonna go ahead and show that. I don't think there's anything wrong with what you said. I can even discuss it with you. Low level living drops in somewhere around about $1,200 a month. I mean, that's scratching by on the bare minimum. The calculation says that per month you make about $3,200. If you survive on $1,200 a month, that leaves you $2,000 a month to invest. If you're putting that directly into the stock market over a period of 5 years, after you amass $25,000 in year one, you started using margins to invest at about 50% of your available on-hand funds. At the end of 5 years, you'll have over $100,000. That's because you said, I'm going to reduce my living costs as low as possible. I'm going to, in so many ways, discipline myself to understand that where I'm going is more important than where I am. And who I am is more important than who you think I am, than who I appear to be. When we start to do these things, when we start to understand that process, we start to understand that investment, we start to understand those behaviors, we start making changes, you can start to grow money. Listen, we have been taught and you have been told that you deserve and you need to have these things. Hey, I ain't free from it. I'm not acting like it don't happen to me. I have my own areas. My wife would tell you, any new technology come out and be like, yeah, I probably need that in my life. You probably don't, probably do. You probably don't. Listen, I'm telling you, I seen it, looks nice. I'm gonna need that in my life. My kids need this in their life. I want my kids to have this. Do your kids need this? Shut up and let me tell you how much I want my kids to have this. Yeah, do your kids need it? Why you keep talking sensible when I'm being as irrational as I can possibly be because I got money burning a hole in my pocket? 16-year-old son started his job. I said, you need to put 75% of your money into investments. He fell out. I mean, he almost fell out the car. That don't make sense. Why do I need to invest 75% of your money? What you gonna do with it? Well, you know, I got things that I want to be able to do things. Yeah, you're exchanging your time for money. What is it that you need money to do? Well, if I make this much money, I'm only gonna have $51 for 2 weeks. What are you doing in 2 weeks that you need more than $51? You don't understand, like I need to, what son, what is it? You don't have, you've never had a paycheck in 16 years of your life. And we definitely have not been giving you $300 every 2 weeks. What do you need more than $51 for 2 weeks? Well, I want to get the things. I'm like, son, we buy your clothes. We pay your phone bill. We provide your housing. We feed you. Like we still take you to places that you want to go. You have no idea how to use the metro. What do you need $51 for? I just want to make See, we're under the belief that me telling you that your ability to be able to control and manage your resources and your money is me telling you that your life has to suffer, because we've been taught to be consumers, and we believe that our money is for the purpose of paying bills and buying things. And it's not. The purpose of our money is to make more money. It's what builds the dream. Put your money on top of your money and tell your money to work. Make more money. Go out and make money. That's your job. Go make money. I'm sick of working for you. You work for me. Put it out there. Great. Now it's working for you. It's making more money. You get your time back. It's making so much money. Now you have money that you don't need. Now get yourself another television. Now get that technology you want. Now get those juicy ribeyes. Now, because what happens is when your money goes to work for you, and you went to work as an electrician's apprentice, you don't have to work until you're 73 years old. You can start living your life, because your life is more than just running and pulling cable. Your life is more than going from job site to job site and being a part of a union and retiring, hoping that you don't outlive your money. Your life is more than that. Living is more than that. Listen, hating the truth don't make it any less true. And my truth may not be yours. What I'm sharing with you right now is when I talk to you about finances, when I talk to you about behaviors, I mean about investing, when we talk about where to put the money, how to grow it, whether to get stocks, whether to get mutual funds, whether to invest in crypto, when we talk to it, we have to understand that this process requires you to be you. It requires you to accept who you are and where you are in this process. You do make enough. I challenge you that you do make enough. I challenge you now, whatever decisions you made to put you where you are, to have to do what you need to do right now that requires for you to work 2 jobs and invest, like this is what we do on the membership tiers. Become a member. And then we can sit down and we can talk. We have direct conversations in the lives and the membership tiers, where we even do Zoom calls once a month, where we can talk about what's the specifics of what you say you're doing. Tell me where you are. What's the income? Where is your money going? Because if the money's coming in, it's got to be going somewhere. Listen, everyone believes that it's about suffering. You're not suffering. You're not suffering if you don't have 5 TVs in your house. You're not suffering if you don't have a single TV in your house. That's not suffering. Stop thinking that's suffering. Oh, man, I'm suffering. I ain't got no game. I ain't got no gaming console. Man, I'm suffering. I ain't got no phone. My little snotty daughter. Dude, listen, you have to be true with yourself. You have to be you have to be able to stand the truth and share the truth with yourself. And when we're able to do so, we're able to make some decisions and come to a realization, dude, my life is where it is because I'm making the decisions that I'm making. If I want to be somewhere else, I have to not just invest the money, but I have to invest the time, the energy, the understanding. I have to develop in the growth to get there, to become the person who deserves to be there. It's not about suffering, it's about discipline. Discipline has 4 pillars. It starts with repetition. Repetition requires patience, it'll build over time. After the repetition and the patience, you're going to develop consistency. Consistency must have an end goal. You must be looking to achieve something. Consistency does not work with the absence of a why. If you don't have a why, you're just being repetitious. If you have no reason for doing what you're doing and no expectations of performance, it's just repetition. Consistency must have an expectation of an outcome. And then from there, we're moving on to perseverance. You have to go through what's necessary to go through as you develop and you grow and you learn the things you need to learn. And then you apply them, and then you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And ultimately, if you want to see your money grow, you have to put your money to work. As I told you before, you have to invest. What you invest in you helps you grow. What your money invests in itself helps it grow. No good business has ever taken money out of the business. It may allocate profits. It may take some profits out and distribute them, but the $20 million invested in the business stays in the business. The $50 invested in the business stays in the business. People hating the truth don't make it any less true. Sit down today. Today, find your truth. Look at what it is you're trying to achieve and find the truth that you've been avoiding. Stop looking at other people for what their truth is. Look at your life. Look at the truth about what you're doing, where you're going, and the part where you're refusing to accept that it's true. Find it today. Identify it. Accept it. It makes you powerful. And then start to work on it. Go to work on it. Start taking action. People, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have about finances. If you lack the discipline to follow through with the behaviors, it's meaningless. I want to thank you for stopping in. Everyone who has not yet subscribed, please like, subscribe. Check into the membership tier. Get more of this content. Get more of this interaction. Get more of this direct life skills and training to help you develop in every area of your life. Going out into the Monday, today, 1st of December, 2025, I want you people to have a great day. And remember, guys, keep showing up, keep blowing up, keep growing up. Until next time, guys. God bless. Take care.